Just checking.
I shouldn't have dragged you out there. I'm sorry.
You didn't. I wanted to be here.
Well, an apology rescinded. I guess we're both a little crazy.
How do you feel?
Hi everybody, welcome back to Entertainment Rebooted. We are doing yet another episode of CrB Stomp. It feels like we were just here like 2 hours ago, but it's been a month. Yay, it's February. And you know what February means? The overly anticipated release of none other than Sony's latest film, Madam Webb. So, to honor Madam Webb and the great piece of cinema that it looks like it's going to be, we are revisiting none other than Sony's cinematic masterpiece, Morbius. I didn't even bother looking up statistics about Morbius because it's just got a reputation all of its own. So, I guess it's Morbin Time. I'm joined on the couch, of course, by none other than my co-hosts, Pat and DJ. So, quick question for you guys. I avoided this film like the plague and didn't bother to watch it. Have either of you bothered to watch Morbius before?
Nope, I didn't subject my eyes to it.
Oh, so this is going to be a new experience for all of us. This is going to be top notch. So I guess without further ado, let's just rip off the Band-Aid, get this over with, get you guys not only the best roasts, but a rewritten, hopefully much more entertaining Morbius film. So with that, we'll get it going.
All right.
All right, I guess without further ado, it's Morbin time.
Morbin.
May God have mercy on our souls.
I was up there because I'm moving behind the screen.
But now I can put my feet up. Priorities. I'm already uncomfortable watching this.
Let me have this.
Let me have my feet
In
up.
association with Marvel. We don't really touch them. We just kind of hang out sometimes.
We saw them once at a party.
We saw some parties. Yeah, I know.
He was with my mom when she was in the jungle right before she died,
Oh, gosh.
looking at spiders.
So bad.
It's the same shot from the trailer. Tell me I'm wrong. Same place, I guarantee it.
Oh, that would be sad.
Jeez, you couldn't even get a real helicopter to go through your CGI clouds? See, they needed that helicopter for the shot!
Yeah, but that one doesn't have to work. Doesn't work? It's a helicopter decommissioned and they're just spinning the top.
Set the gentleman out to the cave, please.
I'm pretty sure it would have almost been cheaper just to get...
You a doctor?
No, I'm just a cripple they carry around. This is my Make-A-Wish.
Vampire bats weigh almost nothing, but they can down a creature nearly 10 times their size.
Oops.
Hey!
We're explaining 25 years earlier why he wanted vampire bats.
There's a school for gifted children in New York. I think if I could get them to agree to cover your tuition and provide private care...
Is that Xavier School for gifted children?
Somewhere you can study, learn, hone your skills. You have a gift, Michael.
A terrible, awful gift.
We're gonna kill him.
Please, can I have my letter back?
What?
Please, can I have my letter back? Please.
Yeah, taking great care of kids.
established himself as the world's leading authority on blood-borne diseases.
This happened in the same year, by the way. There's no explanation for the time jump forward, so I'm assuming he had a hell of a growth spurt.
To acknowledge the receipt of your prize from His Majesty, the King of Sweden.
Does our generous benefactor Marvin know what you're actually doing here?
What am I actually doing here?
We're mixing human DNA with bat DNA.
I have no idea what
What
you're
are you talking about? Is anything ringing a bell?
No bells ringing.
Okay.
Just voices screaming.
It is it's a fish tank. Like for flying mammals.
I see.
Some friends I brought back from Costa Rica.
So what were you going to
So
tell
this
me?
stuff happens after that part. Okay, that's crazy.
More
Thanks for
importantly,
that.
How did you? I don't think it is. We have to push the boundaries, take the risks. Without that, there is no science, no medicine, no breakthroughs at all.
To be fair, most of the medical breakthroughs in society were made by the Nazis, so I mean, I guess if you want to go through that logic, you can do it.
First, I take the vampires, and then I make the vampire people.
Yes.
And then I put them into camps.
Based on their degree of vampirism.
That guy turns out to be the villain, and he's literally like, "You never got my name right." I'm gonna be so upset. It was Ledo's motivation. Do not do that. I was so upset.
You have everything you need.
I know this is painful.
They did a really good job making him look super sickly.
Yeah. What are you talking about? That's just Jared.
That's just your Oh!
Oh.
Oh no! Oh! There it is. There's the bad rating right there. Why'd you make me watch that? Oh, I saw it go in. Oh, oh, it hurts. Bad DNA made me ripped.
Apparently.
We have to have the obligatory, well, look, I suddenly got jacked moment. Because that's what makes Marvel movies.
Yep.
Didn't identify himself, then wiped all the surveillance footage.
He grew conscious and jumped overboard.
It happens. Oh, and get this. All the bodies that you're looking at are nearly drained of their blood. So, what hunts at night drinks human blood?
My ex-wife, why?
Oh, that's good.
And let it go.
What is he sending that out from? What is he farting? Boom! 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 That's how I have to look at. This is what we see. We see the thump, and he's just in the room farting, and I'm just like, what is he doing?
We're hearing like booms in slow motion. It's like.
All our lives we've lived with debts hanging over us. Why? Why shouldn't they know what it feels like?
Now he's laying out officers in my city, huh? It's unforgivable. So keep your eyes on Dr. Bancroft.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a spark door again. Damn, that's a big fart.
That's why we went outside for it.
Shatters all the windows in New York.
You're hurting me.
Well, that was Morbius.
Oh gosh, this movie.
I actually envy the dead people in the film. Because at least for them, it ended. I don't think this film will ever end for me. It's just going to continue to haunt my nightmares.
I'm yawning so much for this thing. Oh, look at my watch. What time is it? Can I leave yet?
Oh, jeez. Anyway, we just finished watching Morbius. I'd say that this is a film, but it's more of like even the projector killed itself. I'd say it's a film, but at the same time, it's more along the lines of like melatonin in film form. So yeah, we just finished watching it, roasting it. Y'all have seen it. After watching this film, let's go ahead and we'll do something completely different. We'll do a positive, negative. I'll start and then we'll go this way.
Okay.
Completely change it up this time.
Okay.
All right. So positive, negative. The positive is it ended.
Oof.
I mean, there's not really a lot to like praise it for because it's like you can't praise the graphics. The graphics aren't really all that great. You can't praise the story.
The cinematography's even bad.
The music,
it's all dark. It's weird angles. It's pacing is abysmal.
Yeah, the music is bad. Like direction is bad. Acting can be really wooden at times. So there's not really any positives that I can just pick out, and I'm not going to waste the time to do it. Negatives of this film is it is just so boring. It is one of the most boring films that I have seen in a very long time, and I didn't think that such boredom could be, like, such levels of boredom could be reached watching supervillains.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Especially, like, supernatural supervillains. It's just, how? Anyway, DJ, positive, negative.
Okay, so for me, the actual positive that I have is that the actual character's powers and the way that Morbius works is actually pretty in tune with the comics and the source material that it's done. They do that pretty well. And his his transitions, as he's like moving from the doctor to like the monster thing is actually well done. I think they do a really good job of kind of slowing his development, and then they do a good job with the villain character of putting him in. He's actually a good motivational villain. He's a good friend. It actually reminds me a lot of in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, his best friend, when he thinks he's betrayed him, and then he turns he turns himself into the Green Goblin. Yeah, it's a similar thing where he feels betrayed, but I'm like, no, I just want to be your friend. I'm with you and me. It's you and me. That was really good. The downside is they don't do anything with it. The worst thing for me in this film is really the pacing. What makes it kind of boring, even though there's a lot of action sequences and stuff in it. The best word I could use to describe this entire film is monotone.
Yeah.
There's no tone shifting throughout the entire film. When there's an action scene happening, whether everything's calm or chaotic, whatever's happening, everybody's tone, their dialogue, the talking is all calm and soft. And even when they do yell, it seems out of place. It doesn't. Yeah. It's a whole movie is just monotone. There's no shift. There's no climax. It's just continual straight line through the entire film. And you feel that so hard when you have this like interesting villain and character dynamic that just isn't really used because there's no ups and downs with it. It's just step for step for step for step for step. Especially the cutting. The way it's cut, like they'll show a scene, then a different scene, then another scene, then a different scene. Then they'll have this long, boring scene that they focus on, and then they'll go cut, long, boring scene. Cut. It's just abysmal to follow.
Yeah.
Lady Pat.
Positive. I will never have to watch this again. Negative. It was made.
Oh, that's fair.
Bro, you just roasted this film.
Something exciting had to happen to it.
Oh my gosh.
Something exciting had to happen to it.
Ouch!
Roasted.
Ouch!
That is totally fair though, Pat. Like this film is.
It's all three of us, I think, were on the bounds of falling asleep. Because
It's literally
even when the action was on the screen, I was getting sleepy because again, it just doesn't shift.
It wasn't even it was slow action. Like it wasn't like a proper superhero fight.
Yeah, and then it'd be over so quickly.
Yeah.
The most interesting fight I think in the entire film is when they fight down right after the cops in the subway, and it ends so fast.
Yeah, it's like they're
oh, they're gonna fight. He's like, no, I won't fight you, and he just leaves.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck was that? He doesn't even fight him at the end.
Yeah.
They never actually fight. He just calls the bats and then sticks a thing in him.
Yeah, no, and the thing is that what's really frustrating about this film is it almost actively avoids or ignores much better choices. Like, more exciting decisions, more exciting climaxes, more exciting fights, but also just more impressive visuals, more scary and intimidating visuals. Like, think about how intimidating it would have been when he's, like, with the toothpick with the girl, and he literally just takes the toothpick and he just flicks it, and it shatters the glass. Like it just
sticks in it. Yeah, exactly.
Like it sticks into the glass and it's, like, cracking.
Yeah.
And it's showing, like, the cracking of his of his facade kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm not a good guy kind of thing. There's a lot of things that could be delved into more with this film too, and we'll get into that more.
I will say one thing: the beginning was good telling of it because it shows the scene, then it goes 25 years later, and then goes earlier,
yeah,
and then skips through time 3 times back to past where it started without any signs of where the timing was, and it's like, what is happening? What is happening? What is going on? It was really confusing.
Very confusing overall. Just awful decisions, poor decisions. I think that's positives, negatives. Joke titles. We'll start with Pat. Joke title.
Lullaby.
Yes. Nice.
DJ.
Oh, I'm gonna call it Batman.
Batman.
Seriously.
Batman.
Batman. He just controls the bats. That's all he does.
Yeah.
What about you?
I believe I'd go with
the film.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Snorefest. Sleepy Time. Sleepy Time Tea, the movie.
It should have been sponsored by Celestial Teas.
Sponsored by Celestial Seasonings. Sleepy Time.
Yeah, like I said. Morbius, more like Snorefest.
Yeah, it's just,
it's bad.
Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do everything we can to make a more interesting film by rewriting it. I'll go ahead and just start by saying we don't make a film. It's already better.
Yep.
Dan, thanks guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, and follow us for more. And we'll see you guys in the... Or do you want to actually? Just kidding, guys. We are here to rewrite it. We can rewrite it. Let's go ahead. We'll take...
Oh, this is...
Take 10...
I don't even know what to keep from this thing.
Well, rules just before... Okay, rules. Establishing the rules. We have to keep Morbius. We have to keep that this is an origin story for him as a villain, vampire, monster thing. He has to have blood as a issue. We can keep most of the stuff that has to do with him, like making synthetic blood, his diseases, and things like that. And a plot has to happen. Essentially, that's...
Yeah.
We can even keep the same villain. I'm not familiar with the comic books very well outside of him being involved with
I am with this one, so...
Okay, so... But that's what we're going to keep. We're going to keep Morbius, origin story, and coming to grips with his powers.
Okay, alright, man, go for it.
Okay, first things first. Whoever was in charge of lighting, you're out of there.
Yeah.
We're replacing you.
Right.
There's a way to do dark movies, but still have it lit. You can't get the audience if we can't see shit.
Yes.
This film needs to be brightened up a bit. Like, yes, it takes place mostly at night and things like that, but New York being the city that never sleeps, it's supposed to be bright, and there's plenty of other films that do movies at night well.
Yeah.
Even Van Helsing was brighter than this. And the vast majority of that film takes place in really dark environments.
Okay.
Yes, and it has way better dialogue too, so it lightens up.
Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Literally a movie that happens on a world that loses all light, and they do lighting better than this movie.
Yeah.
That's a good one to compare it to. Yeah. The big one I would make, I could leave this movie mostly the way it seems like it's actually written. Okay, I think the heinous is on the execution. The dialogue is sad and just monotone and lame, and the cutting and the pacing.
You think it's a direction, lighting?
I think
issue?
From watching the actual film, the villain, the character, his motivations, the story, all are compelling.
Yeah.
It's just poorly executed.
It's a
I
problem.
think this was written really well. I think the script, I'd love to get a hold of the script for this film, because I'm wondering if like the idea, like, or even a rough draft of it, or like an outline, I bet this looks good on paper and was just poorly executed.
It could be.
Because even some of the dialogue lines were good dialogue, but it was said like this. I wonder who this guy is that's killing people. Yeah, well, who cares? He's probably killing. The cops? Oh, he's killing my cops now. Well, that's just great. He seems minorly inconvenienced that his cops have been murdered. He's not
killing
upset.
cops in my city.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Like,
freak is
where's
killing
the
me.
emotion?
This freak is killing my people. Where I want him now. Get him for me. Where on all points bulletin, I want him found. No, he goes like, oh, he's killing cops in my city now. I want him found. We're gonna make sure we get him. Okay, guys. All right, I'm gonna go get a donut and a coffee. I'll meet you guys later at the bar. Like, what the?
Like,
my edible gummy's kicking in.
like,
That's kind of what it is. But
The two main characters, the villain and him.
tell Michael I'll kill as many as I want. Like, just,
Yeah, exactly.
you tell Michael I'll kill as many as I want.
Well, even if
until he understands.
he can be that way if he's the only one. It's like the villain worked being all cool and charming.
Yeah.
It worked for him because he's all calm and collected. Morbius is kind of they're a good foil because Morbius is kind of eccentric and maniacal, and he's very manic, and he's like.
Well, he comes off as the mad scientist.
He comes off as the mad scientist, whereas his friend is very calm and collected because Morbius wears himself on the sleeve, whereas his friend kind of holds his real self back.
Yeah.
He's a villain in the facade of a gentleman, whereas Morbius is a fanatic with the heart of gold. That's their foil. They work that way. Problem is, every other character in the movie is like the villain. Calm, cool, collected, and monotone. That doesn't work for everyone.
Well, even like a villain, so the villain would work really well because he's supposed to be dual-natured, where it's like he's only been this way because he's been weak his entire life.
Yeah.
So have it to where he comes off as calm, cool, dapper, and stuff like that until he starts getting his power and stuff. And then he becomes more manic, and then he becomes a little bit more like, what do I care? Why do I care about social norms? Why do I care about what you think about?
And they do that a little bit, but they don't give it enough separation because again the whole film is very monotone. The changes in characters don't have the same effect they would.
Yeah.
But if you gave background characters emotions, his change would have stood out more. If the cop was actually getting angry, if Morbius was losing it more, if the girl was showing real like concern, even her fear was like, oh no, that's probably not good.
Well,
you're a monster, Morbius. Please calm
her death
down.
makes no sense. Like, I felt like I had fallen asleep during her death scene because it just didn't make sense.
Oh, the timing too.
The timing is so weird with that.
He's like, I'm going to get him. Oh, he's not here. Oh, he has her now. I'm going. That was the cutting.
They're on top of this roof and they're doing this thing. And not only that, when she's getting murdered, she's like, "You're hurting me."
Yeah, like
it's like, did everybody just take sleepy time tea before they started their scene? Like, did they wake them up at 3 a.m. to film this? Or it's just like, okay, time to wake up. You're playing Morbius. Here's your lines. You're hurting me.
Morbius's lines were really good. Where he's like, there's some of the lines he says where he's like, you know, what you call, I call this, you know, I'm just trying to cure this. This may be the wrong way to do it. It may be unethical, but I've got to get it done. I want to do this. That conversation where him and the guy were sitting down next to each other was great. The tone was good. The pace was good. When it was just the two of them together, the movie was fine because they were the only ones that had a differential. Problem is, every other character he interacts with is all monotone. Yep. They're all like the villain. Everybody's all just calm like him all the time. So he doesn't stand out. If those two were like that and all the other people were regular people with real emotions, it would have worked just fine. That's all you do to save this movie. You give all the extras real emotions and the movie's better.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is like give them realistic emotions.
Yes.
Because think about when Morbius first kind of like reveals himself in the boat. That boat scene was actually pretty well done because they're like, what the heck is going on?
There's actual fear. There's actual like anger and like anxiety.
Yeah,
that's what I said when I was watching the first part of the film when he became Morbius. I'm like, this was a bad movie. This is actually really good.
Yeah,
and then the cop showed up and then for the rest of the film, every character was like, wow, this is bad. But this is not good.
When he shows
his about this,
when he shows his vampire powers though, like in the city when the cops confront him, he does this whole thing. The fact that the cop literally was sitting there just like, I shoot at him. I continue to shoot at him. Yeah. And it's like, bro, you just saw this dude take off.
That's freaking
parkour.
Floor at it, like
he's flying 5 floors at a time. I'm sorry to say, I don't care how disciplined you are. Like, I get disciplined shooter, you gotta remain calm, do your whole thing. If the calmest of people, dude just jumped 5 stories in the air, I'm not okay.
You'd be like, what the?
I'd just stop shooting. I'd just be like.
The problem is there was no change. He acted exactly the same.
Yeah,
he didn't panic or get more aggressive or. You would even expect him to be like, oh crap, like shoot more aggressively, or drop the gun and panic, or freak out, or boss, did you, or even a disbelief. Boss, did I see that?
Yeah.
Nothing. He just shoots it and he says, hey, calm down. Okay. The police chief, hey, calm down, man.
It wasn't police chief.
The FBI guy, but even he's like, hey, calm down, man. He's like, why is everybody so freaking calm?
Yeah. And the superstitious partner, like.
Wait, the partner was superstitious?
He took holy water to the jail.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, and he goes, when he's like,
well, they're so bad.
And when he's trying to get out of his thing, he's like, okay, well, this was a really nice conversation. I guess we're done now. Like, what is why are you being so polite and cordial?
Yeah,
what is this?
Okay, like, and he's just like, on the boat, he's like, drinks human blood only comes out at night. You know what that is. Like,
I have a new name for this movie. It's like, just because of all that stuff, it's just like, it's like polite, the film. It's like, Mr. Vampire, sir, can you please stop murdering the cops in my city? I would really appreciate that. But if not, I will just shoot you. Whatever we have to do, I suppose. I really, I'm sorry we have to do this, but I guess this is where we are. What the heck is this? Gentlemen, sir. It's so weird. The tone.
Kurt Vonnegut bring the drug that they use to calm all the civilians into pacifism.
Yeah, that's all.
Soma.
Oh yeah.
The entirety of.
What was the other?
Everyone's on Soma.
Yeah. Serenity, where they gave the Reapers like the stuff, and like it was, some of them got super aggressive, and the rest just became so lethargic they just died in their freaking office buildings and stuff. Like that's what it feels like. Everybody just kind of just.
No, I think it literally was an experiment of like, okay, guys, here, I have a bunch of gummy bears. and they're just weed gummies with melatonin drops. It's just like, try to act with this. She's out at night, he drinks blood. You know what that is. And the guy in the back, yeah.
I honestly,
in their head though, they're like, oh, I'm being so active, and it's like,
I honestly think we have a summary for the film. Like, this is really.
We haven't made any remakes. We have a summary for the film as it is. How do we change the?
No,
what are we changing on the
film? You
film?
leave the film exactly the same. You just make the dialogue believable. That's all you have
You
to
add
do.
emotion.
You add, yes.
You fix the cuts.
You direct. You actually direct the people and have actual acting. That's it.
You up the pacing a little bit.
Yeah, up the pacing, make it more.
Yeah, the pacing was accordion. It was zzz, zzz, more consistent pacing. Consistent. It would be really slow and then chop 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 chop. Yeah. Really slow. Chop 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 chop. No, just be.
And you don't shy away from the conflicts.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
This entire film was scared of having a fight.
Also, I would start out 25 years earlier.
Yes.
If I'm going to do a time jump, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do that. You start out the film, instead of doing the time jump, you just start it with them as kids. That'd been perfect. And then you show him getting his award. You kind of show, you don't have to say the time. We can naturally see there's a progression. And then you show him getting into the lab and
starting. Show the Batcave. You do the kids, then you do the Batcave award, and then her confronting him about the DNA splicing.
Okay, that would work.
Or you can cut back to the DNA splicing. What would be funny is actually she starts talking and she's just like, about DNA splicing with bats, and then the bat cave thing shows up. It's like, what's this? And then it just flashes back temporarily to the people flipping out. The bats coming out of the cave.
What?
Nothing. It's nothing.
Two big caveats I would have with this is I would make two things very clear. One, I would make it clear that the funding, because they allude to it, that the funding is coming from his friend.
Yeah.
Make it clear what it is that he actually is involved with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And make it clear that he is the one funding him.
Yeah.
And make the interactions about the funding. Like he goes to him and says, I think I've got it, like he did in the park. And he goes, what do you need? And he's like, I need a ship and I need a crew. And then it goes to the ship out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Boom. Now you have a setting for how they get there. So the beginning up to that point of the film happens, the same stuff happens. We just reordered a little cleaner and we give more legitimacy to the dynamic between him and the two mains and their funding and everything. That also shows a lot more when he says, I haven't already done stuff for you. Well, we've never seen him do anything.
Yeah.
If in the film we see him literally throwing money at Morbius, we see his passion about it, so he feels the betrayal harder when Morbius won't give him the cure.
Yeah.
That makes more sense that he's upset about, like, I funded you, I gave you everything. I don't care what the risks are. I want it.
This is what
I paid for. Yes.
Also make it seem like he's actually dying faster. Like, I understand that they both have, incurable, deadly diseases.
Like, he's literally on his deathbed.
Yeah, make it a thing where they're literally, he's... the doctor, just gives him, a prognosis. They just talk or something like that. They just have the conversation. He's like, how's, shoot, I forgot his name already.
Milo.
Yeah, how's Milo doing? And the doctor just looks at me and goes,
doesn't have long.
Yeah, something not even, just a shake, just.
And it's not him that goes to get the cure. He sends one of his henchmen to go get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he literally can't get it himself.
Or just have a henchman come grab it and steal it, and Morbius is just like, what the heck? Somebody broke in, and I don't know where this has gone. Somebody has gotten a hold of my research and stuff like that. Yeah. And then his friend shows up fine. And it's like, why would you steal it? Well, you weren't giving it to me. Well, it's dangerous.
That would have been a better reveal. That scene where he's in the jail and his friend comes as the lawyer, that scene would have had so much more impact if he was on his deathbed before that.
Yeah.
Because then he figures it out immediately. He doesn't wait till he leaves the cane behind. He knows as soon as he shows up what happened. He walks in the room and he's like, Milo? And he's like, how you doing? And he's like, oh my gosh, freaking you stole it. It was you. You did it. And he's like, and I'm just getting started. And he doesn't try to get him out. He leaves expecting him to stay in there so that he can go crazy because he knows he's going to try and stop him. And this one's weird because he literally tries to convince him to leave. He gives him a reason to leave. He wants him out. He wants him to be close. It would have been more fun if he wanted to keep him there long enough for him to, get used to his powers and stuff, knowing he can get out, and then when he breaks out, maybe a little sooner than he expected. And so that's why the fight gets intense, because he was trying to give himself just a little time to catch up to him, and then they get into the conflict. And then there's actual fights. Yeah. And the police and everybody else involved has actual emotions when the cops are killed. Like, he comes in freaking out, getting angry, all points bulletin. You hear sirens in the backgrounds and the fights because they're looking for him everywhere.
Like the Afghanistan guy should be hot-headed, I think. Because he's seeing all this stuff, and maybe even have scenes where it shows the bodies and stuff, and you just have like flashes, and you just see his eyes, and he's just like, I can't do this. Like
it's like it'd be something
people
like
are dying.
Yeah, people are dying. Like
yeah.
I came back from war, and this and I came back from war, and I thought I got away from this, and now this is happening at home. I am done with this. This needs to end.
Yeah, I went from dealing with monsters to dealing with monsters.
Yes.
Like this is ridiculous.
Yes. And that is really what would really inject this film. I honestly believe that the script and the idea behind it and the progression of the characters is perfectly fine. It's just poorly executed. Yeah. I would just ramp up the execution, get better acting, tweak some of the dialogue, better acting, give better make the relationship between Morbius and the enemy more apparent, strong, more unique from everyone else in the thing. The girl, the what's her name? The doctor,
Martinez.
Make her like more emotional.
Possibly.
Everybody's deadpan in this film.
Yeah,
even the little girl who was like dying and he like puts into a coma is just like, yeah, I'm chill. Like, and it's like everybody knows they're on a movie set and they're just acting like they're safe on a movie set, not like the actual characters they're embodying.
Well, do
that, and this film I think would be significantly better. This is a lot like Avatar, right? That was one of the things Avatar suffered from. Is the acting was abysmal and the pacing was weird. You didn't care about the characters because they had no real emotion. You didn't emote with them very well.
Yeah.
The Lion King, the new one, that one had that problem. It's hard to relate or connect to the characters when they're not showing any real emotion. When the people even there's in a lot of superhero films, one of the things they always do: collateral damage. They show civilians dodging out of the way, trying not to get killed, freaking out. There's none of that in this.
Yeah.
Even in the subway when they're jumping around,
they're dodging everyone.
They're going so fast around them that you don't see the panic and run that you get from people that chose remote. And even the few people that do panic, they're like, "Oh no, vampire."
Yeah. No, and
it's like what?
Sometimes they choose to do slow-mo when it actually would have been cooler to see it like real time. Because think about it, like if they're in a crowd full of people, like just have like they're fighting like over here, and then you just see like a city street, and the people are just like waiting for the subway or something, and then you just see, boosh, like everything just flies across, and people are just like, what the heck, and they're like running and they're panicking.
They kept showing everything from the vampire's point of view.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool to see some shots from the people's point of view, and just they see a blur of motion, and people fall over dead. Some people get knocked out of the way, and everybody starts panicking, like, what the heck? That's the kind of, there's no humanity in it. It's all from his point of view, from the monster's point of view, and it's all dark and abysmal and like pessimistic and dreary and boring. To rewrite this film, you don't rewrite it. You just direct it better, and you get the actor. That poor direction is what this follows from.
Yeah.
This is poor direction. This film was not well directed. The director had no idea how to get people to actually react or act properly.
Right.
And there's good actors in this movie. Like, just seriously.
Yeah.
And there's not like hype, but there's some good ones in here.
Well, they at least have done better characters before.
Yes.
Like that's kind of the big thing is it's like these are not brand new actors. All of them have played different roles before. Yes. Even Jared Leto has done well.
And this is my point: is that they're all acting exactly the same way, which means they had no direction. Yeah. They were just reading the script. Everybody in this film just reads the script. You need better direction, better acting, and the film is fine. Yeah. The story is fine. The most
it just needs to be tweaked and amplified.
It just needs to be polished. That most of the stuff we watch, the story itself is garbage or a mess. Yeah. This one actually is the first one I think we've ever done in a Curb Stomp where the story is actually fine. It was just poorly executed.
That's fair.
It's an intriguing concept.
And that's the thing. I think that's part of the reason that this film is so bad is because sometimes I think films are put even worse down and remembered more poorly due to the fact that it's a waste of potential.
Yes.
Yes.
This film had so much potential, and it has an intriguing enough story. If you take the story and you just put the highlights, like the plot graph, down, that seems like it's a very classic story. It's a very interesting story, and it has a lot of progressing points. But when you put it on screen the way that it did, that's part of the reason that it's so bad, is because it could have been so good.
Yep.
It's like the Hunger Games that we just
Yes.
saw this last year.
Yes.
Because the potential
There were
of it was so great.
There was like 3 or 4 plot points that burned the entire film because it changed the tone and the pacing. I think it was literally, and we found out that the book had those things the correct way. We sat here and we're like, well, if they had done this, this, and this, it would have been better. And I found out that that's exactly the way the book was. They changed it and made it worse by taking out elements that made it strong. This is the same thing. It's like, I bet you the script is very straightforward, and they just muted it.
Well, yeah, and if you add 4 tweaks and scenes like that, if you take all the CGI and you change it to where it has a different effect, this film is way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if you could just edit it. Like, you just take what's already been watched, you can probably edit it better.
You'll never get around the
dialogue thing would be sort of a problem, but some of the ways they cut it really weirdly and short. If you cut some of those long, boring scenes a little bit, maybe extended some of the action, I bet it probably was a better film. But the dialogue is a lot of the problem. Not the dialogue itself necessarily, but the delivery is so deadpan.
Yeah.
And that, you'd have to basically reshoot a lot of the dialogue.
All right. Okay.
Straighten the bow tie.
Yeah, gotta
straighten the.
Oh, I should have worn my Sunday best. I have a T-shirt that has a tuxedo on it. All right.
All right, guys. That was our curb stomp of Morbius. Hopefully, you enjoyed our rewrite more than the actual film. If you saw both of them, let us know your thoughts about the film and what you would do differently in the comments below. Otherwise, if you like this stuff, let us know by leaving us a like, and be sure to subscribe, because we will be giving you a new curb stomp at the beginning of every single month, and we also have a lot of other exciting and fun projects that we are working on. If you want to know what's going on in the movie theaters as well, we do weekly reviews every weekend, so be sure to check us out with that as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. That was